Hey guys, this is Grant Coombs III, aka Balbomb, coming to you for another video from CardRunners.com. In this edition, we're going to be looking at my third video, I believe, for my Yellow Tag series. And like I've said in the past, my Yellow Tag series is just aimed at collecting a bunch of hands that I played over the last 6 months or so. And a lot of times, I think they're just interesting hands that I want to talk with my friends about. And a lot of times also, they're just hands that I want to review with the card runners community. Sometimes they're just a random assortment of hands that don't necessarily have a category, and other times I see different themes popping up over and over again about hands that I posted or wrote down for you guys to look over. So that's the way that this series is going to run, and hopefully it really applies to a lot of different people. I think in this particular video we have some rather introductory things that we're going to start off with at the beginning, and then throughout most of the video, hopefully, some of the guys that play higher will get a lot out of it too, because I think there are a lot of creative plays that I talk about in this video. The first play is actually just going to be working upon the theory or the video that we came up with in the last edition. The last edition of the Yellow Tag video is dealing in large part with turning hands into bluffs that have showdown value. I think a lot of players are typically more apt to just be calling down in these situations, and I was offering you guys some alternatives to those plays. In this situation, though, I'm actually going to be advocating making a hero call, and I wanted to show you a few of the things why this is going to be a different situation than some of those would be. I'm playing against a really tough player who's in the small blind. He's opening about 40% of hands. Against me, it might be just slightly less than that, maybe something like 35%. We play a ton with each other. We start heads-up tables with each other. He's a very aggressive player. He's not afraid to get a stack in the middle, and I have a lot of respect for his game. He opens to 3, and ace-5 offsuit sort of falls in my 3-bet range here. I definitely like 3-betting ace-6 through ace-9 almost all the time, and I also like 3-betting king-5 or king-6 through king-9 a lot of the times as well, and I'm folding probably king-5 through king-deuce, unless they're suited, which I'm just going to be calling. So I think this works nicely in my 3-betting range, and he calls. I'm looking at his range now, and I'm giving him something along the lines of pocket 7s and pocket 8s and pocket 9s, and then a lot of Broadway hands. So he's going to have all of the king jack suited, ace jack suited, queen jack suited. Actually, he's probably almost always going to be getting an ace queen plus, and I think he probably gets in 9s plus, although that range might be slightly off. It might be something like 10s plus. But I think he's going to have a lot of Broadway cards here. King queen off, king jack off, queen jack off, and some suited connectors as well. The flop comes 9-7-5, and I think this range is interesting. First of all, I think against a lot of opponents, this hits the range pretty well, because a lot of guys have a hard time folding pocket 8s and pocket 7s in this situation. This player, though, I actually look at that it doesn't hit his range as well as maybe he wants to represent it, because I think that the pocket 8s and pocket 7s and pocket 6s, he's either going to be 4-betting them to get the money in, or he's going to be simply just folding them, because I think he does realize that I'm a pretty aggressive winning player. And while pocket 8s is a pretty hand or pocket 7s are pretty hands, it's going to be really difficult to play them out of position profitably. So when he donks into me, it's an interesting play. First of all, if he has a set here, then I'm going to be absolutely shocked, and he's going to take my money every single time, because I never expect him to have a really big hand here. The sort of hands that I'm worried about him having here are something like 10-9 suited. That's just about it. Maybe ace-9 suited, potentially, I might be a little bit worried about, although that seems quite loose as well for him to be calling out of position. Beyond that, I do think he's going to have a lot of bluffs, because like we talked about, I think he's going to have that heavily Broadway-oriented range. So I think he's going to have a lot of hands that, like 10-jack here makes a heck of a lot of sense, especially 10-jack suited with hearts, spades, or diamonds. Queen jack, king jack make a little less sense, but still probably fit into that bluffing range. Ace jack makes a little bit of sense as well. So with that range, I'm not overly concerned. What I am concerned about is what cards he's going to be continuing with here on the turn. The turn's at 10, and based on that range, I think the 10 is an excellent card for him to continue with those bluffing ranges. I think because queen jack, jack 10, and king jack all pick up more equity, I think that it's going to be a really nice card for him to continue on here. He's also betting the sort of size here that I think sets up a really nice shove on the river, and because he is a good player like we talked about, this is not surprising whatsoever.